There is a homeopathic remedy that is so indicated for everybody living in America that it has been nicknamed the American Remedy. Nux vomica or Nux Vom is often nicknamed as the American Remedy for a few reasons. First and foremost, when you think of America, you wouldn't be too far off if you think of all of the chemicals that we quite literally have in almost everything. It is so extensive that there's literally other entire countries or even all of the European Union has banned many of the chemicals which we allow here in our food, water, makeups, just everything. We're overall very saturated in chemicals in almost every direction. So Nux Vom then right off the bat deals with sensitivity to chemical exposure. So often, like let's say, there was an instance where somebody was working out at the gym and they would always smell some type of a fragrance there, like, some sort of a wall plug-in, and it was bothering them. Taking Nux Vom really helped them out a lot. Or, if you're eating a lot of processed foods and then you have a bellyache, that would also indicate Nux Vom. Or just really it's associated with any sort of issue from a chemical exposure that's found in the air, found in water, found in foods that then the body reacts bad to, most often with either like gut issues, liver issues, or even anger. So when you consider again and all the processed food that we have here in America, just all of the chemicals in everything, right off the bat, considering that Nux Vom deals with issues from chemical exposure, you can see from that angle how Nux Vom starts to fit in as the American Remedy. But in addition to the actual chemical exposure itself, Nux Vom also then fits in psychologically, or kind of how one responds to these chemical types of exposures. So fundamentally, at the heart of Nux Vom, there's a lot of just issues with the gut, issues with the liver. And in traditional Chinese medicine, there's a very big association with the liver being the seat of anger, meaning that if you have liver issues, you're much more likely to be angry. So in Nux Vom, being that it deals with so many issues from chemical exposures, most notably a good way to view it is that these chemicals are affecting the gut, affecting the liver. So as Nux Vom deals with issues with that, the way that it psychologically then manifests, or the psychological attributes of a person who might benefit from Nux Vom, is going to be somebody that is very prone to anger, especially after eating, different types of foods or being exposed to different types of chemicals in foods, chemicals in the air, or even just very like rich, indulgent, like spicy foods, just anything that's going to be ultra processed. The thing though is that the Nux Vom type often craves these foods. They crave things that are very spicy. They crave things that are very rich in flavor. Oftentimes, we crave the things which are most likely going to harm us in some type of a way. But Nux Vom though is also then again to, go back to the American Remedy, is very associated with somebody that wants to just drink coffee all day long. They just have really this big desire for stimulants. So they want to crave a bunch of coffee just to really amp themselves up. They are going to crave a bunch of alcohol then to help wind themselves down. And then in the midst of it all, to go back into how it kind of fits in with the themes of America, is that they're a very hustle and bustle kind of a state. Whereas they're, drinking the coffee to amp themselves up, this is most notoriously very much a workaholic that wants to keep busy, that wants to be productive, wants to be ambitious. In many ways, Nux Vom is associated as the, typical shrewd type of American corporate businessman. But it could also very even simply be maybe a stay-at-home mom that's feeling burnt out and is drinking coffee all day long to really just kind of plow through it, and then at night wanting to drink wine to wind down. But just the fallout of all of these different types of stimulants and rich and spicy foods that they're craving, then again, just leads to a lot of anger because it's causing a lot of gut issues with indigestion and heartburn and so forth. So to kind of sum it all up with Nux Vom, the reason why this really fits as the overall American Remedy is really twofold. On one hand, you want to think of all of the chemicals that we have here in America. There's chemicals in everything, ultra processed food everywhere aware, as Nux Vom inherently just deals with a lot of issues and ailments from chemical exposure, and then the way that then it responds in the body. All of these chemicals are harsh on the gut, harsh on the liver, which Nux Vom notoriously has a lot of problems with their gut and their liver, which then just results in a lot of anger, and they're just really naturally much more amped up. They're prone to just being workaholics. They're very ambitious, and they can just be like chugging coffee all day long, maybe drinking wine to wind down. In Nux Vom, there's just this really big desire for stimulants, whether it's coffee, whether it's alcohol, combined with spicy foods, and just a very much like go, go, go kind of a person who is prone to getting angry. And so, yeah, that is Nux Vom. That is the one that is nicknamed the American Remedy. Let me know any questions you have in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe for next time.